right, all right, all right. Looks like we are live. Trying to work out this live stream thing. Got the Electron Syntact here in front of me. And I think you guys can actually hear it now. So we'll see if I got this worked out. I'm not sure how the audio levels are. Wait for some people to come on in here. See if anybody joins the chat today. What is up? What is up? Let's bring the tempo down on this a little bit. Here with the Electron Syntact. Let's go kind of down tempoed a little bit. Let's go to like 92, a little lower, slow and low. Let's turn off the metronome. Let's go to pattern 1. All right. Well, hopefully the sound is actually working. If anybody pops in, can tell me that can hear both my mic and the Syntact here, so I know that this test stream is in fact working. Let me know. I know it's a Friday afternoon. See if anybody pops in. I saw a couple people pop in, but we'll see. What's going on? What's going on, Viral? How you doing, man? Just doing a test stream here. I think I finally got it where I can hear the microphone and a piece of equipment. Let me know if you can hear my voice and the Syntakt. I'm hoping that I figured out how to get both of them on there. How you doing, man? Sweet, man. Nice. I think maybe I finally figured this out. Took a minute to I don't know. I was having all kinds of issues. Finally, I just like went into a mixer and then went into my interface, and that worked. For some reason, I can't get all four inputs of my AudioFuse Studio to stream. There's probably an app for it or something. Oh no, man, you had COVID. That sucks. Well, I'm glad you're over it. That's a bummer. That's never fun. Shit, man. Yeah, glad you're doing better. It's yeah, I heard it's going around. There's been some sickness going around here. I don't know if it's COVID or not, but a lot of people have been having some weird cough and kind of fever thing. I don't know. Um, my kid had it and gave him a home test, tested negative. So, but yeah. Oh man. I appreciate you dropping in, Viral. Thanks, dude. Thanks for letting me know that the sound is all good. Picked it up from the far in South Dakota. We went right after Sturgis and did a lot of bodies on those rides. Yeah, that thing's huge, huh, Sturgis? My dad and uncle are into motorcycles, and I think he was talking about going went out there one year. There's a ton of people go for that into Harleys and stuff. That's cool, man. Well, yeah. Whenever you get in big crowds, it's always a an issue, huh? Let's see. So I'm just kind of messing around. It's just making something with the Syntakt. This is kind of just a test, see how it worked with the mic and having so I can talk and have like a jam. I want to start making some beats on the MPC, maybe doing some stuff as we talk. Some live gear action. Found my pocket operator, my PO33 today. But unfortunately, I got to go to the store to get some new batteries. The batteries are dead. Got this cool case from what is the name of the company guy that does this? Feel bad now. I love this little case though. Looks like an MPC. The MPOXS. Yeah, it's nice. Fits like perfectly on there and like works really good. So I was hyped to find that. I used to I bring this to work, make little beats on lunch and stuff, some headphones. So kind of cool. It's actually a really dope sampler. I'm sure you've messed with one, Viral. The PO33. I've almost wanted to get that new bigger version they've come out with, and even that what's that medieval one. Oh, yours broke. That sucks. Yeah, they're not like made to be like super sturdy, huh? The case I think will help it. Like I had one of the other ones. What was it? Um, oh man, it was a few years back. I had one and I was letting my kid play with it and it broke. Also, it wasn't the PO33. It was damn, I can't remember which one. There's a whole line of them. Got my son the Mega Man. You got your son the Mega Man version. That's awesome. Yeah. You know what? I should get Mega Man. My kid's way into video games and the Switch and stuff. He's like going down kind of a retro. Uh, oh, the SF2. No, the Street Fighter. Yeah, yeah, that one. I wanted to get that one. Um, yeah, my kid's been going down kind of a rabbit hole of retro games because I hooked up. I found some like old systems, and then like on the Switch, you can play like old like Sega and all the older Nintendo games. He's like way into Metroid at the moment, like heavily into like all the Metroid games. But I forgot about Mega Man. He'd probably totally dig that. I should totally get him that game. Yeah, man, retro gaming. I put what do we get? I found he was way into Metroid, wanted to play the GameCube, because we you could play GameCube games on the Wii, but we are having problems with our old Wii like motion sticks. So I was looking, and I have like a bunch of old GameCube games because I used to have a GameCube, and he was way into that Metroid Prime. Even though he has the new one, he likes to play the old school one. And I looked on eBay one day, and there was like a GameCube system. And it was from like it was up in the Northwest, up in your territory. I think it was up in like I don't know where it was, Olympia or something, like from a thrift store. And it was like people were bidding on one, and it was like up to like $22, and they had like 5 minutes left. So I was like, I waited till like the last 5 seconds. I was like $25 and won it. So it was like I don't know, it's like $20 shipping. So I got like for 40. I think they go for more than that, but it showed up and it works. And so now in his room he's got a GameCube, the Sega Genesis, and I'm gonna hook up the PS2 in there. So he has like old little retro video game section to play. So he's not always on the main TV out here. But yeah, old games are fun. I loved. I was a Sega guy. Really love like the Sega Saturn. It's like one of my favorite systems of all time, and I still have my Saturn, my Dreamcast. So I don't really play a lot of games. I don't have a lot of time these days. When I do, I like to be more in the studio than playing video games. But yeah, kind of cool. I'm glad he's getting into it. But yeah, Mega Man, you totally brought me back with that one. I might have to turn him onto that. You guys were a Sega family too? Nice. Hell yeah. I always wanted like some of the other systems. At one point, I kind of got like, I was like heavily in my heaviest gaming phase. I had like the PS1, the Dreamcast, and the Nintendo 64, like all hooked up with a switcher box and stuff. And like that was like when I was like a hardcore, right? My most, had like the subscription to magazines. I was like in my early 20s or something, way into those three systems. Never had like multiple systems like that were all new at the same time. Now it's either been like Xbox or PlayStation. I kind of jumping back. But like I said, I barely ever play, man. I do like to get on like some Mario Kart or something with the kids sometimes. I liked the Zelda games, the Breath of the Wild, and then I never really got into playing. The kids are always on them, so I don't ever get any time, Really love the Syntact. It's really grown on me a lot over these last 6 to 8 months. It's a really powerful synthesizer, like mono synth, but it's got analog synths in it, digital synths. I think when they finally do an update on this thing, it's going to be like really wild, what they add to it, because they haven't really done a lot since it came out. It's been like, they've done, I think, some minor updates. I haven't checked for a while, but I'd hear about if there was a really big one. But I don't know. It's just a beast, man. It's not just a drum machine, although I have been using it as my go-to for drums for a while now. As a synthesizer, it's just intense, man. I'm just using kind of some of the stock stuff on this as I made a beat because I was doing a test, but you can really get in and do some synthesis on it and tweak some sounds and get some really, really cool stuff. I'm a big fan of the Syntact. I think it's kind of underrated in the Groovebox department. But, yeah, man. So you're still out there in South Dakota now, Viral, or did you head back home? I think you said you're going to be out there for a few months, or what? More weeks, right on. That's cool, man. You ever used any Electron stuff? Yeah, it's different. I'll say that. Definitely different. The workflow is different. Takes a little getting used to, but the sequencers are super dope. Go down to some synth sounds here and see. A ton of presets in here, but then you can make your own of all different sounds, drums, and synths. So it's got 4 analog engines and then 8 digital engines, which is pretty cool. It's got great. I like the effects on it. Lots of FM. It's got a lot of this stuff from like model cycles. That, man. I know you've been working on that album for a bit, man. I look forward to hearing it. And multiple ones at that, huh? what's up, Atma Gaia Meditation? Today's Syntac is working. Yes, I figured out my issue there. So I'm still going to try and tweak things, but and try and get, better lighting, better sound, and just kind of makeshift starter setup for now. But I don't know. Does the camera look okay, guys? Doesn't look too washed out or anything. I don't know. There's like filters and different things you can add on this too, I think, but I haven't really explored too much. Like I said, just I'm a newbie to the live streaming thing, and yeah. So let's go with that one and play around with it. Tweak it out a little bit. Put it on our keyboard. Go down. That's some overdrive on this thing for everything. Love the overdrive. I filtered it too much. Yeah, I don't know. Let's maybe check out a different one. Hey, what up, Daydream Sound? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you coming by. I'm just hanging out with trying to figure out this live stream thing. I just finally got it where you can use the mic and have something going on a piece of equipment. Cool. I want to buy the Digital 2. Oh, the Digitac 2 and Behringer Proton to be a good company for the Digitac. Digital 2, you mean the Digitac 2? Or yeah, the Proton looks interesting. I think the Neutron was actually one of the cooler things that Behringer's done. And it's good to see him coming up with another original idea. I don't think I'm alone in getting bored with seeing all the clones and stuff coming out. So it's cool to see something like, original and it looks actually kind of cool too. I was checking that one out, and I don't know if I'd get one, but it's definitely cool to just see something doing something new and original. I applaud that. Saw they were supposed to release that LM drum thing too, and see, like, stuff like that just doesn't really interest me. It's the new technologies and stuff that they would do, that the DeepMind and stuff. I think if they go down that direction, I think it'd be really cool. The Digitac 2, yeah, all good to hear, Daydream. I'm glad you're doing well, man. I'm really glad. It's cool. I got a 4-day weekend here, which is amazing for me because I work a lot, and we were Monday's a holiday here. We got Labor Day here in the States, so they offered anybody who wanted to take Friday too, and I was like, yeah, 4-day weekend, yeah, I'll go for it. So I'm hoping to get some time to work on some music and to do some more stuff in the studio on setting things up that I've been kind of really procrastinating on. But yeah, I've been making your stream when I can, Daydream. Always the best. I was listening to some of your the Samplers podcast the other night, like before bed, and you're always good stuff. Very good stuff. If you guys don't know about the Daydream Sound and are into samplers, go check him out, his channel. Go check out his website, and he does NTSC Powell with, it's like just tons of videos on sampling, and he's got a podcast, and he does a weekly stream here on YouTube, and definitely check him out, man, because he's very knowledgeable and excellent guy to follow if you're into sampling and synthesis of samples and stuff. Like, yeah, highly recommend his stuff. Super cool dude. So glad you're here, Daydream. Yes, for sure. But the Oberheim desktop clone, I dig it. I love the Oberheim sound and don't have $5,000 to buy one. Yeah. I forgot they're doing a desktop version of the whatever their OBX one is. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna knock anybody who buys anything. I mean, I got the 2600 because I wanted a 2600 and always have. So, I mean, if it's a piece of something you want, you get it cheap. Why not? You know what I mean? Uh, it's cool. I do think that TO5 thing that they released, that's like the Take Five from Sequential, the TO5, which is like their cheaper Oberheim, is pretty cool sounding. I wouldn't mind having one of those. See, I'm not really big on being nostalgic for a lot of old sounds of synthesizers. Um, for me, it's like I can sample stuff and then put that in key groups or auto sample stuff and use it that way. And then, I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but I just rarely use like really retro sounds like that. But I get it. I mean, something you've always wanted. That's why I got the 2600, because, it was like the voice of R2D2 and this legendary synthesizer that, and I wasn't that into it where I wanted to buy a real one, but I was like, hey, I'll check this out. And I think it's super cool. I don't know how close exactly it is to the original, but I dig it. So yeah, I don't knock anybody who buys Behringer stuff or anything. I don't hate on them. I criticize some of their marketing and ways they do things, because I don't like when they announce this product's available now and shipping, and then it's like, but it's actually not in stores and available for like 3 6 months, sometimes a year. So I don't know. And then just, there's some ethical things there. We won't get into all that stuff, but yeah, they have some cool stuff. Let's see. Viral, you lurk sometimes on the Daydreams streams. Yeah, they're always good, man. Oh yeah, but they say the Take Five is better for the filters and mainly for the mod matrix. I checked out the Take Five once, when I think I was in Boise at like a Guitar Center, and it sounded good to me. It was interesting in the fact that like it had like a lot of kind of Prophet Five sort of vibe and sound in there. But it's just, I don't know. The TO5 is, I think it's doing better. I seem to see a lot more out in the wild on videos on the TO5 than I did the Take Five. But man, having those two together would be probably a pretty cool setup for like a real like live gigging keyboardist or something. Might not be bad. I mean, I think they're the shorter key beds, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really glad that I figured out how to get actual sound with a device and a mic. I'm probably gonna hook up my actual condenser mics. This is just a cheap mic I was using for testing this out, and then maybe put it through like preamp and my compressor and try and get the sound a little better. Maybe work on some lighting here, get things, make the live streams a little more cool. But it's nice because sometimes at night I'll just sit here and like come up with beats on like the Syntakt or the MPC and just kind of chill. And it'd be cool to just live stream sometimes while I do that. So, man, I really appreciate you guys coming in, and everything sounds good on levels and stuff. Like, can turn the speed up. This is just something I just whipped up in a few minutes. I don't really like the hi-hat. That's a weird sound. Come out of this real quick. The Syntakt is a beast, man, I'm telling you. Let's do something with that hi-hat. I like to add a little with the hi-hat, like do a little LFO on the panning. And then I like to add a little phaser to them though. But this Syntakt doesn't have a phaser. Okay, yes. Let's turn that up, see if we can get a little. The Syntakt's pretty deep on what it can do. It's like a lot of different things in one box, as far as you have the 8 digital engines and then the 4 analog, and what it can do with the overdrive and the punch of it. The thing about what people say about Syntakt is like, it's going to sound like Syntakt no matter what you do. And it's got like a distinct sound, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but it's like, and I agree with that, but there's a lot you can do in outboard processing. If you sample it and then, use different techniques, and your sampler, you can do a lot with the sounds in it. So, but it's just a fun machine all in one box to just sit there and come up with stuff. Sometimes I pair it with just like the Digitone or a Microfreak 1 synth with it, and you can just come up with like really cool, fun stuff. I have used it on a lot of the tracks for the videos that I've posted over the last year, but it's really growing on me. It's becoming one of my favorite boxes to play with and come up with stuff on. Got some panning going there. Let me see, maybe a little delay in there. I want to filter it a little bit. I like the hi-hat to be really kind of audible and stuff, but I don't like when they're like too out front. Maybe a little resonance. Go to the chat and see for sure. Syntakt is very cool too. I have the Digitone MPC Live and starting a modular. Nice. That's a good. Those are some good pieces to start with. I haven't gone down the modular rabbit hole yet. I've got a lot of semi-modular stuff. Not a lot, but I've got like the Moogs and the 2600, a few other things. I just haven't wanted to go down that route yet. I'm sure at some point I will build a Eurorack. I just kind of been resisting that, but Digitone is awesome. I really love the Digitone. I've kind of been thinking that it's been a long time since they've done an update on it, and they're really good about updating their stuff. I mean, they updated the Octatrack like 8 years after it came out with a huge update, and what they've done with Digitax, the original, I mean, every year it seemed like, or a year and a half or something, they would add like some incredible additions to it. So I'm really hoping because they probably, it's likely they'll do like a Digitone 2 like they did with Digitact. It's been out, for a long time. I'd like to see like one big good update to the original before they do that. I wish you could because the arpeggiator in there is one of my favorite things, and I wish you could use that to sequence the arpeggiate other gear with that thing, because it's got such an Octatrack too. Octatrack has a really cool arpeggiator in it too. But yeah, the Digitone, very very awesome FM little box. I love that thing. Can you make pads in the Syntakt? On its own, I don't know of a way to do that, to do like pads. I mean, you can simulate pads, but I mean, it's a mono synth. It's it doesn't have that many voices to do that. You can just sample. You can make pads with the sounds of it by sampling. It's just a little more time consuming, but could be worth the effort because it's got some great sounding synth engines in it. I'm going to save this real quick and just skip over to a different beat here, a different pattern. What do we got here? I don't know. That was something I made a while back, I guess. got a lot of stuff saved in this, a lot of ideas. But let's see. You've watched Ricky Tinez really get down on them over the years. Oh yeah, Ricky's like an electron master, right? I mean, geez, he works for him now, which is pretty cool. Um, he's definitely someone that I've watched some videos on. I like Ricky's whole vibe and approach. He's just really really good teacher when it comes to that kind of stuff. I've definitely learned some tips and tricks on these devices from him, and yeah, for sure. Ricky's a good dude. Syntact is good for live PA. Yeah. I think if I was gonna go out and do an electronic set, which I've been asked to do over this summer, and I wanted to. I have some friends and some bands that I jam with, and they've asked me if I want to come up and do like a opening little thing, like a 20-minute set or something with some electronic music. And unfortunately, I just like work has been so busy that this summer that I just haven't had any time to try and like get a set together and plan for it. And I haven't played out live in a number of years, so um, I used to a lot play as a bass player, played in bands live a lot. But I've never done like a full-on electronic set. I've DJ'd a little bit years ago live, but I would love to put together like something with the electrons and like a synth or two, just like a minimal setup, and do a jam. Maybe bring like, I don't know, like the DFAM, the Syntact, and like the MIDI Freak or something. Just a small kind of like live electronic setup would be so cool to do. But time is always an issue for me. Just one more update to Digitone would be great. Yes, please, Electron, hear us. I would just like to see just one last kind of, and I'm not gonna like, be bummed if they don't. I'm not looking for like a ton of features or something. They're just so good about making old devices feel new again. They did that over and over again with Digitact, and it would just be cool because Digitone doesn't seem to get as much shine and love. It's just not probably as popular as the Digitact, and that's understandable. It's not a sampler. Digitact is, I mean, that's probably their most successful, I would think their most successful product of all time since they've been around. Uh, I know there's other popular ones, the Analog Rhythm MK2 and stuff, but I think Digitact probably's got to be their top selling product ever, the original Digitact. And I'm sure I would like to, I've thought about upgrading to a Digitact 2, but I just don't feel like with Octatrack, Syntact, Digitone, and the original Digitech that it's really needed right now. It just seems like it would be just to get something new, and I'm out of that mindset of just buying new stuff. I haven't over this last year. I've only gotten a couple things, and I'm good with that. I have everything beyond what I would need. I'm good and set for gear, and I just focused on making music at this point and getting my skill set better to become just get better with the machines that I already have. And so I look at new stuff. I will say that Moog Muse, when that came out, was really tempting. Because I love the grandmother I have. I'm a huge love. That was one of my first like modern synths when I started buying new gear again, not the older stuff. I got the Moog grandmother, was the very first thing, and I just love it. I love it. It's just got such a rich, great sound, and the spring reverb on it, and that you can process other things through it, through the external through the input. So the Muse was the first thing that like had me like kind of actually feeling gas again and feeling like that gear lust temptation for a while. But then it like quickly faded off. I was like, I'm not, what is it, $3,500, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't really need it. I've got a lot of that kind of Moog sound, maybe not exactly like that, but so let's see. So I will get a Digitact 2 and some modular, then I sample and put in the box and make a track with Overbridge until I can have money to get a multi-clock so I can only jam. I see. Huh. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, man. Overbridge is a really really cool thing. I you know I love Electron. I'd say of like the modern companies that are around now, like Arturia and Electron are probably my two favorite uh, of companies. Just everything they do has just been like pretty good, or great in some aspects. Like the Micro Freak. That with an Electron box, like somebody could just like, you could do like 6 albums just on those two devices. Like on a Digitact or a Syntact and a Micro Freak. I do wish Syntact could sample. That's the only thing. Like it has inputs. It could come. You never know. You never know. Let's see. I am DJ of house and minimal house and produce this genre too. Nice, nice. DJing some house music. That's awesome. Yeah. Where are you at, Atma? Are you European or where do you hail from? And ambient music. First Electron was Analog 4. The Analog 4, yeah. I've never got to play one. There was an MK1 and MK2 versions of those, right? Oh, you're from Brazil. Okay, nice. Right on. I love it, but I got some money problems and need to sell it. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. It's always a bummer when you have to part with gear because money. I had to do that years back. I sold like a whole bunch of gear back in like, I don't know when it was, like 2006 or 7. I'd lost my job at that point, and needed some money, and temporarily until something new, until I got into something, and I ended up selling a bunch of stuff and just regret it so much. I regretted it so much. Like it was like, it hurt like later, like some of my good guitars, old effects pedals that I'd had for years, and it sucks because all that stuff it hurts even more when I look now and see, like, if I want to buy something back, like how much they're worth now and like what I sold it for. So ever since then I don't sell anything, and maybe I'm a little bit of a gear hoarder because of it. I don't always use everything, and maybe there are some things that I could part ways with, but I just don't. I find that there's always a time where it's like I would like to reach for that one thing and use it on this specific thing. So, even if it just is used for one sound once in a while on something, then I think it's justified to stay in the studio, or at least be, reachable to bring into the studio and use. So I don't sell gear at all, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I plan on spending the rest of my life mastering it all. So even if it's just one piece at a time, that's the goal, is to utilize it in the way it's supposed to be used. There are some things that I'm not, like, looking over here, that I think this one right here, the SP404 MK2, this is probably the last thing I bought that was kind of more of a gas type of purchase. Haven't used it a lot. I used it for an effects processor mostly, and if I was going to get rid of something, it would probably be this, because of the redundancy factor between my Digitact, my other samplers, the MPC-X SE. I've got the ASRX Pro. I've got like those kind of capabilities. It's just for the effects, and it sounds really good. I like the sound. It's cool. It's just the workflow on it and the sequencing. It's not for me. I'm not an SP404 guy. I know they're beloved and there's a huge community of people. I'm just not the guy that this product is for. So I'm thinking of maybe, I don't think I'm going to sell it. I might like give it to my older kid. She's kind of into like lo-fi hip hop and stuff like that, and she'd probably make a lot more use of it than I have. But that's one of the only ones I look at in here, and I sort of feel like it's just not giving, it's not earning its desk space for me. and it's not because of its capabilities or its sound. It's just for my use and my workflow. I just don't find like a good use for it. Hey, take care, Michael. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sold your Analog 4 and your Vermona MK3. That's a bummer. Yeah, the Vermona drum machine. Yeah, Vermont. Yeah, that I would miss those too. Don't sell. Yes, yes, and it's kind of great kind of collection too. Yeah. How do I like the Kawai K5000? You know what, Daydream? I think it's a very unique, amazing synthesizer. It's hard as hell to program though. Um, it's very, very menu divey intensive, and I think that's still cool because the results you get out of putting the work in are worth it. But I think it's like that's probably one of the last synths that I would let leave in here because it's got its own sound like nothing else. There's nothing else in here that I can make the same sounds as I can on that, and it gives it just has a character, and it's special to me. Additive synthesis, I think, is going to come. I don't want to say come back because I don't know if it was ever as big as it's never been as big as Subtractive, right? And it's or wavefolding or granular even now is the popularity, but I think it's underrated. People talk about FM and how the complexity of it, but additive synthesis actually, when you start building a patch on that and using it, it's super complex, and it can go bad really quickly. You can go from like something sounding kind of cool and interesting to just like off the charts, like a dying animal or something, and then you got to kind of bring it back in. So I think it's super cool. I should spend more time on it, but like I said, it's like one of those things. If you start making a sound on that, that's a whole day of delving into that. And the buttons are a little finicky. It's an older piece of equipment, an older piece of gear. Sometimes they don't work. They have notorious. I'd like to like take it apart and refurbish it and like fix the sticky buttons and certain things to make it like, because that's kind of frustrating too. You're already sitting there trying to menu dive and do all this like complex building of these patches the way that you do in additive, and then the buttons don't always work, so that's sort of frustrating. It kind of reminds me like it's finicky, almost like the ASRX Pro. Like it does amazing things, but sometimes it just frustrates the hell out of you on the way that the interface is and stuff with the little encoders. But yeah, man, it's really cool. I should use it on more tracks. I auto sampled it into the MPC, and I was using it stuff. I used it on a track. It was a while back. I want to say it was back around the holidays. I don't know. I did like 2 or 3 then. I did use it on a song then with the Quasi MIDI Sirius that I have up there, and use some like drums from that and like sampled those. But I love it. I think it's awesome keyboard. I would like to try more Kawai stuff, actually. I've only used this one, and I think was the other. It was one a friend had that I like the sound. I like the sound of Kawai's, and the K5000. Like I said, I think it's special. And how's my experience with the Hydra synth? Hydra is, I think, probably maybe the most of newer synthesizers I have, the best. I mean, the way that they've set up the UI on it, and I mean, 5 envelopes, 5 LFOs. I have the desktop version, as you see, and I love it's got a polyphonic aftertouch pads, which is super expressive and fun to play. I'm a fan of the Hydra. It was one of the ones I got early on, and it's been featured on a lot of my music. I think this last year it's kind of gotten pushed aside a little bit when I got the Mini Freak and kind of started going more deeper into the Electron boxes. I stopped using the Hydra as much, but I speak very highly of it. I think ASM is an awesome company. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do next. Um, is it going to be a synthesizer? Is it going to be a drum machine or a sampler? Whatever they do, I'm going to be following very closely because I think uh, they have some really good key people working over there that have been around the game for a long time, and they know like they know what they're doing when it comes to releasing a good product. And the fact that they haven't put out anything for a long time other than the different versions of the Hydra um, tells me that like there's like some probably deep development on something really really cool coming out. I keep hoping it'll be like, you know, at the next show, whatever the next show comes up, Super Booth or NAM or whatever, I'll be like, oh, maybe there'll be a new ASM project because they usually go to all of them. I think they're even going to be at NobCon. Is NobCon this weekend? I think it's next weekend in September. Which I really wanted to go to NobCon. I had plans to try and make a trip out there. I have some friends, some YouTube friends that I've made through the years that live there in Chicago and have, you know, wanted to go visit, hang out with some folks, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Not this year. So maybe next time. Super Booth would be the one I'd really like to go to. That would be the, you know, I think that's the, you know, as Daydreams talked about this, like, you know, that's the where you see the real cool stuff for what we're into for electronic music coming out nowadays is definitely Super Booth. But we'll see. Maybe there'll be some stuff announced at NobCon. I don't think it'll be a new ASM product. I don't know if they really care about uh, bringing stuff out at shows. I mean, I know I follow like the group. They're very Glenn Darcy and Ken Flex Pierce are very active in the ASM group on Facebook that I joined when I got my Hydrosynth, and they've mentioned that like they don't think Glenn said that he doesn't think that like shows or especially NAMM is like the place nowadays to release a new product and stuff. So I thought that was insightful onto kind of their mindset. And, but yeah, huge fan of Hydrosynth and Ashen Sound Machines. I think they've knocked it out of the park with the Hydrosynth and are going to be a force to reckon with their next product. So, but yeah, another one behind me is the AN1X. That this is a loaner from a friend that is unfortunately not doing well health wise right now. Very big bummer that he's not doing well. We're all really worried about him at the moment. I've had his AN1X now for a while, and it's really beat up. It's been dented in and stuff, but that's another synth that I think is very special. One of the better virtual analogs. I think maybe one of the best from the 90s for sure. Has amazing sounds. You can get really, really close Prophet 5 sounds and really analog sounding amazing stuff on that. UI is not the best, but it's functional, you know. So, but yeah, guys, I appreciate you all dropping in. I'm excited for this 4-day weekend. Might do another stream maybe tomorrow night or something. Gonna do some stuff on the MPC here now that I've figured out this sound thing and whatnot. I hope to pop in once in a while and just stream a little bit. I really appreciate you guys all coming in. Daydream, love you, man. Really appreciate you. Viral Beats, Atma, who else was here? Michael. Yeah, man. Hope to do more stuff with the channel. It's starting to slow down finally at work a little bit, so I won't be doing like quite, I've been doing like 14 16-hour days. It's really hard to like get up extra early or to stay up late when you're only going to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, you know what I mean? So like I'm hoping like now that it's slowed down to have more time. Hey, Anti-Conformity, what up, Thad? How you doing, man? I was just heading out. Hey, thanks, Daydream. I'll see you guys on your streams, and I'll be popping in now that I'm like I said, figuring out this whole live stream thing. But how you doing, Thaddeus? You good, man? It's good to see you. I'm just heading out. Been on for a while. I don't know how long it's been. Probably over an hour or something. But appreciate you guys. Good. Yeah, I got to come visit you soon, man. Got to come see you guys. Yeah. If you ever need any merch or things printed, screen printed, any for your bands or cool projects, go to anticonformity.com. That's my good friend Thaddeus and my old bandmate. He's an amazing screen printer and does like fantastic work. So highly recommend him if you ever need any kind of work like that done. And fantastic musician, guitar player, and badass dude. So all right, guys. Well, I will be popping in periodically now that I figured this thing out. So I appreciate y'all. You guys take it easy.